Why play Lash, you may ask? Well, if you like roaming, running around the whole entire map at light speed, massive mobility, big burst damage, huge teamfight ultimate potential, game-changing plays, running lane to lane to lane, this is exactly where you want to be. He is absolutely one of the most fun characters in the game, and this guide will help you learn all of the things that you need to learn. Let's get right into it.
Hey, wait a minute! What the hell? No! No, for God's sake, get!
What everybody's been waiting for, baby. The ultimate combo. As basic as it looks, can be pretty crazy. So what we're going to be doing is 90% of the time you will be using your second ability to whip up into the sky to get height advantage. And from an angle, you want to use your ultimate ability to get a big crowd of people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Who knows? Doesn't matter. As long as you get someone, throw them into your team, you are doing an amazing thing on the map. You are then going to slam them onto the ground into your team. Use your first ability. Knock them up when you're going directly down. Do a big burst damage. Once you start getting poked out and low, use your third ability to heal back up and keep that auto, baby. Basic gun and his abilities. So Lash's primary fire is a 3-round burst rifle that shoots with 0 recoil, deals 10 damage per bullet, and has a 29 ammo base clip. Lash's first ability is called Ground Strike. Lash strikes the ground, dealing damage in a cone in front of him. This ability can be used from greater heights to increase the damage. Leveling this ability decreases the cooldown, adds a knockup and slow, and lastly increases its damage scaling based off distance dropped. You know how grapple is the best thing in every game you play? Well, now you know why this character is so fun. Using Lash's second ability will pull you towards your target with upward momentum, allowing you to gain a vertical advantage on them. Leveling this ability also reduces its cooldown, grants increased range and weapon damage, and finally grants bonus fire rate to your weapon. Lash's third ability is called Flog. It is a cone frontal attack that steals health from enemies. Leveling this ability grants movement slow, increased cooldown, and at max level, a damage boost and fire rate slow on your enemies. Lash's ultimate is called Death Slam. After a short charge up, Lash will grab his enemies in line of sight, pull them to him, and then throw them to his targeted location. This targeted location is capped until max level. At the tier 1, enemies are stunned during the ability. Leveling his ult grants increased throw distance, damage, and cooldown. Going into leveling order, we are going to prioritize leveling our 1, as it does make us have the most pressure that we possibly can and allows our roam to be a lot stronger. Get to 2 points in our 1 as fast as possible, giving us the advantage of knockup. We are then going to max out our 3, giving us long range poke and sustain when we go all in and need a little bit of survivability. This ability is very strong at poking people down, so make sure you're spamming this as much as you possibly can in laning phase and hitting creeps and enemy characters as often as you possibly can. We're then going to put 2 points into our 2, making us be able to move a little bit more around the map with a little more freedom with the extra range that is granted. Then finish out by maxing out our ultimate so we have a lower cooldown ult and can grab from further and throw further. Okay. Now we're going to go into our builds. So for Lash, we are going to put a high priority on getting as much spirit and tankiness as possible. This is going to allow us to survive in team fights when we go all in and poke people down in the early game, as we do fall off in the late game, but we are insanely important to our team. So we are going to put a lot of focus on getting to our priority items, which are improved burst, rapid recharge, superior stamina so we can move around as often as possible, and so on and so forth. Boundless Spirit, if you get enough gold, is really good as well, because you'll just get a bunch of spirit damage and you can kind of snowball the game from there. Unstoppable is a great option for when people are buying your counter items, and Debuff Reducer is also very good to stop a lot of the counter items. We want a lot of stamina, so that's why you see extra stamina in the early game. We want to be roaming as much as possible as we can. Now, for your early game rush, we're going to be focusing on getting high velocity mag so we can poke down people from range, and monster rounds and basic magazine as well. This is going to let us clear creeps faster, clear jungle faster, and allowing us to roam around. Enduring Spirit's a great option with extra stamina, so we have some Spirit lifesteal, and we also have the options to move around with more stamina. Getting this early game recharge as well will allow us to utilize our 2s more, and Mystic Burst allowing us our 2-1 combo to do even more damage. Moving on to the mid game. The mid game, we're going to look to get Mystic Shot so we can poke people from afar. This is one of your first items that you want to buy of the 1250s. Then we're going to look for Restorative Locket if that is going to be very good for you in the current game. We're going to want to upgrade our stamina as fast as possible, giving us the ability to shift space in the sky, or shift dash in the sky as much as we possibly can, resetting our stamina bar. Then going to go into Cold Front, so when we do our combo, we can do a big burst with improved burst and Cold Front. Once you land on the ground, you pop Cold Front, and a big burst will come from that. Rapid Recharge, allowing us to 2 around and do a bunch of damage and be just a nuisance in general. Then we're going to go into the late game. The late game, we're just going to buy all of our luxury items as much as we possibly can. We're really going to be shooting for improved reach so we can grab people farther with our ult. We're going to go look for rapid recharge so we can be using our 2s off cooldown. Get a defense on when we can. Unstoppable so we can ignore a lot of the counter items, which I'll be going over in a future thing. And if you guys have, again, any questions on this at all, feel free to stop by my stream, twitch.tv/Venenu_. More than happy to answer any questions and give any aspects of assistance that I can. Lash is incredible at taking over games and hard carrying team fights. However, he has our highest amount of counters of any hero in Deadlock. There are specific things to look forward to when playing him. For example, items like Slowing Hex stops you from utilizing your second ability, and a lot of your mobility gets cancelled out by doing so. Ethereal Shift cancels out the ability to be targeted by your ultimate, and if you are going to do your 1 slam, since there is a drop, the person can proc Ethereal Shift and stop all damage from coming in. Curse as well completely stops all of your abilities from being utilized, making you pretty much completely useless as your weapon is not that strong. So you would be looking forward to getting Debuff Remover or Unstoppable for this when this happens. I believe you can't actually Debuff Remover this, but Debuff Reducer will reduce the amount of time up on Curse. The characters that counter Lash are going to be Haze. This is just going to be 3. There are quite a few, but these are the main 3. Haze Sleep counters you by stopping your ult charge, or if you're up in the sky and you're from your 2, you can be slept from there. Kelvin Ultimate can just plop an ult on the team, making you not be able to ult anybody, and basically making you completely useless. Once he hears your ting ting ting, he can drop his ult, making it so you can no longer pick anybody up. Another one is Dynamo Dash. This is one of the most annoying counters in the game, as he can Dynamo Dash, hit the whole entire team that you're looking to pull, and stop Lash ults completely, making it completely useless, and your character on a long CD has been punished. So be careful of using the ultimate when you are near people. Early laning phase tips. We're going to look to utilize our 3 to poke the enemy as much as possible. This will give us a HP advantage most of the time, as you will be most likely hitting creeps and the enemy hero as well. Once you have 2 points in your 1, use your 1 as much as possible to do bullet combos with your 1. So you're going to 1 bullet 3 and just keep pressuring them as much as you possibly can. And if you have lane priority in the early laning phase, you want to be roaming as much as you possibly can, as your character is a huge setup character for other lanes and the biggest punisher for people that are overstepping and overcommitting. So for team fights, we want to be a little careful on how we utilize our character, because obviously, as I said before, there are a lot of items and characters that counter us. So we want to wait for important cooldowns to be down, especially ones that will counter us specifically. So wait a little bit. Don't show yourself right away. Make sure you can kind of bait somebody that might be a little bit tankier, or maybe just bait stuff in general for you and you don't want to overcommit. Careful of when you ult. You don't want to be near signs. You don't want to be a lot of the time near walls, as your camera angle can kind of mess up your ultimate because it is a line of sight ability. Taking 1v1s in the late game can be very bad. You can look for poke and just poke people down and be a nuisance and just run around. So you can look for your 1v1s kind of just come from 1 knockup, 2 away, 3 them, 2 away again, just kind of running around being a nuisance and making their life a little bit hard. And when you are looking for team fights, you want to be looking for squishy targets, as you will be able to do a big chunk of their health at the beginning of the team fight while also surviving. You want to be very, very careful of using your 2s, as you want to have 1 charge if you do end up committing your 1. If you have one charge of your 2, you can safely go in and get out. But again, be careful as always. Thanks all for watching the video. I plan on releasing guides for every hero and recording detailed videos on how to play the laning phase, how to macro with them, how to farm, and every other aspect of Deadlock that you all want to see. So please, if you enjoy the video, drop a sub and a comment down below on what hero you'd like to see next and what other knowledge you'd like to know of Deadlock. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and until next time, peace, peace.